What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age Mythology of the Titans action, spawning in the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is HellsRavage. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Lermontov. Lermontov. Vot nom rel. No, Lermontov. Playing Zeus. The map is Tundra. And this is a fairly recent ladder game that I was recommended to watch. So we'll have a cheeky watch to this one and see what happens here. Hell's been out of commish for a hot second here, but sure, he's been smurfing around doing some things. Getting his skill level back, always been a very strong player. Currently participating in the vanilla tournament. With whatever's going on over there. So do be sure to check those out. There's definitely streams going with those in them and everything like that. But right now we've got Hell's playing Odin against the Zeus of Lermontov. So this is a pretty difficult matchup for the Zeus player if he plays standard. So standard are things like Athena Rush, or two-town center play, or just straight center, you know, all that stuff is kind of a little bit rough around the edges for the Zeus player to make it really work. So we'll see what's going to happen in this game, and if Lermontov's going to bring any other strategies in here. I've been talking a little bit about the center hoplite strategy, which we saw Ulysses use back in Champions League or Challengers League, I think the second season a couple of times. Incredibly strong build order against specifically Odin in on high hunt maps, on open high hunt maps such as Tundra, Blue Lagoon, Frozen Wastes. Those sort of maps, very, very good on those ones here. So we might see that from Lermontov. But then again, we might not. We just see the Katoskapots is moving forward through the base, seeing the gold mine, sees a cheeky opening over here. Though pushing in here, it's going to be tough. The sentry tower is quite nicely placed. You can position a Odysseus back here to harass, but that'll get cleaned up pretty easily. And such will be life. I'm going to see the villagers eating up the Aurochs. He's actually leaving his caribou here, which is interesting because normally caribou slightly faster to gather from than an Auroch. You see each of these has 20 HP and the Auroch has 130 HP. So once you kill 3 of those, that's 60 HP. You've covered the food that the Auroch has. So just in terms of how many arrows it takes to shoot and kill the caribou is why it's slightly faster. But we do see Athena has got a choice here for Lermontov, as he's going to be thinking about moving forward and doing some stuff. But Athena has got a choice. But who's to say really what he's going to do? He's got 6 villages on wood, 4 villages on gold, 7 villages on food. Hell's on the other hand, he's going to be going through Freya, no real surprise. A little bit late on the advance time here. Normally we see Odin players trying to get up at closer to the 3:30 minute mark, or sorry, 4:30 minute mark in this matchup instead of 4:45. Gives him a little bit more chance to get some defenses down and get the units starting to pump out. And we are starting to see these Aurochs getting grabbed by Hells. He's left the majority of his caribou here, and he did great hunt his goats. So he's going to be completely safe here in this game. In fact, he could probably even move his villagers if he needs to behind the gate and shoot the Auroch into his base, but we'll see what he's going to do here. The elves are going to come up and put some wooden wall segments over here. We see a wall coming up over here for Lermontov, as we do see a military academy coming down. Jason moving forward, Minotaur moving forward straight away. Just one military academy for the time being. If this is some sort of a fake rush into a town center or something, or something like that, we do see the raven flying overhead, going to be spotting the wood line. It's only 2 villages on this wood line here, so no wasting of the forest fire necessary just yet. And we do see an archery range coming down. So this is looking like it's fairly standard Athena shenanigans. Now, one thing you can do in this situation here, which is a little bit stronger, I feel like, is if you've got the high hunt maps, if you've got the safety in your hunt, you can grab some villagers onto the favor and start making Minotaur as well to mix in. And it can be very tough for your opponent to deal with that. But at this point, we're seeing Hells playing this smart, going for the Herser, and I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing, if I start seeing some throwing axemen coming out here as well, especially because of how much food Hells has got in his base. He's just got so many more caribou over there, and just essentially spamming out Herser, throwing axemen, playing defensively against any sort of push is going to be completely fine. The watchtowers is up now as the Minotaur making his way in. They're going to attempt to push through this tower and then get deflected there, so that's completely fine. Really just pulling back here, wants to eat that Auroch nice and close into this location. As another longhouse comes up, we do see a couple of raiding cavalry getting built out of this location, as well as more Herser. So we could go raiding cavalry Herser, which is a bit of a wild unit composition against Hoplite Toxotes Minotaur. But the big problem here for Lermontov is he just doesn't have anywhere to attack. He's going to be looking to attempt to attack the villagers over here. Hell's just simply going to be retreating. Scrolling over here, does it look like it's going to get sniped, that we can possibly garrison it, and he does manage to keep that one alive. He is Odin, so he will get those back, the HP back on that Scrolling, though I'm not sure if he heals inside of a building or not. That's a question I'm unaware of. And here's the thing, though: if Hells loses this tower, which it looks like he may well do here, it doesn't really matter, because this tower doesn't really defend anything. Maybe this wall, but he could possibly lose that wall even with the town center. Seeing some units getting sniped, as well as a raiding cavalry moving forward, looking to get some snipes here. Just sort of getting housed over here. We're going to sort that out fairly soon, and the tower does go down. So nice play from Lermontov. Did take a lot of damage to get those down. I think he lost a couple of Toxotes there, so not exactly a clean take there as the raiding cavalry coming into Lermontov's base. He's got all of his villagers in the back of his base, so just about to run out of food. So that's going to be tough for him. He's going to have to sneak them somewhere. If we check out Lermontov's map, he hasn't seen a lot of the map. He's got the caribou over here. He's got the elk over here. He's got some wolves over here. And normally we have aurochs in the corners as well, right here and here. So we'll see what he's going to do with those. Meanwhile, Hell's still pumping units out. He's drawing up his armory. He's got enough villagers over here on the gold mine to support all of that. And we'll be hitting the heroic age fairly soon, if you would think. As the hoplites, Toxotes moving around the side, looking for something to push in onto. This gold mine's really, really nice for Hells as well. Nice and close to the base. Easily going to be able to throw up a hill fort around here to protect this location. A couple of hill forts here should be okay. So really the question is for Lermontov is, where does he go from here? And generally speaking, the answer when you're just doing the standard Athena rush is semi-fast mythics here through Hera to utilize Lightning Storm to get some sort of a killing blow on your opponent. The problem with that is you are also going to lose all your army to a frost at some point. So you trade your army, your opponent kills your army, yada, yada, yada. So you have to be careful not to get frosted before, what you want is to get frosted as you are going Mythic Age. That way you can cast Lightning Storm when frost is down and you kill off all the units, killing your army, and your army kind of survives. That's sort of how it goes. Anyways, Lermontov still pushing forward. A couple of houses placed a little bit interestingly here. Skadi is on the way. Still got these raiding cavalry searching around for something to pick off. The village is just going to be happily gathering in the base of Lermontov, playing nice and safe, not wanting to lose anything. We will be seeing a longhouse going down here as Hell's going to be throwing up another one. We're seeing some villagers getting picked off, and potentially Lermontov could go for the town center here. He's got nine hoplites, Minotaur, Jason. There's still some units over here that can come in and hurt. And obviously, Hells can move over onto this wood line here and be completely fine at this point. The problem for Lermontov right now is he's farming, and he doesn't have plow. He doesn't have husbandry. He's on goats without plow and husbandry. So he's gathering very, very slowly right now in terms of food. So he's going to be very far away from the next age, very far away from any sort of tech. And it's going to be tough for him. And then he's going to run out of gold here in a couple of minutes and have to throw up the gold mine here. And potentially that's a point of call there for his opponent. to attack. But there is the Skadi. And the units trying to push forward, pick off some stuff here. Hell's 77 population now, not really enough to throw up a hell fort. Lermontov going to be moving around the map here, looking to come over and hit this gold mine. As Hell's obviously going to be a little bit difficult for him to get this going. He's making some frost giants, and this is pretty much when you want to frost is round about now. So you frost when these units come in. And then surround and then take them out and get as many kills as you possibly can. There's the frost. All the dwarves stay alive. The army going to be coming in, picking off these units. Completely standard stuff. Lermontov is going to want a restoration after this potentially and fight. Or if he feels like he can't get, that's not going to work, you know, do something else. You can see that these Toxotes are the port of call here for the army to come in and snipe down first. And that's going to be going very, very well here for HellsRavage. But Lermontov may be able to make something happen here. We'll see how's he going in terms of the next age here. He's not too close. Just trying to rebuild the units and move them in onto this location here. We see we've got Rhyme as the technology here for the Hell's Frost Giant. Loplight's going to be popping out here. There is only a Jason, but the Jason is very, very good to take down the Frost Giant. And there's the Forest Fire, the classic one-tree Forest Fire. Kind of does get countered by Restoration completely. It only has so much damage that it can do. And we are seeing Lermontov trying to take this fight here. He needs to pick off the Hells needs to pick off the Jason for the Frost Giant to really go to town here. We are seeing that the Minotaur does come out. We see the Frost Giant trying to chase that one down with the nice path blocking going on, or maybe not nice path blocking, unintentional path blocking going on. But it is looking as if Hells is slightly winning this fight. Does get that Frost Breath off on the Minotaur. And Lermontov still just trying to get to the next age. He is playing this classic Pegasus Rush style. Just 2 military buildings, no more. That way, he will probably be able to get to... Oh, he's going for a town center. I was going to say no more than 2 military buildings means you can probably get to the heroic age pretty early here. And the problem with not going to the heroic age and getting a second town center in this position is no access to Hypaspist. Now, normally you say Greek, not the best... or in the heroic age, especially Zeus, not the best in the heroic age, but in this situation, it's one of those ones where you can sit in the heroic age for a little bit with the Hypaspist, just to make sure you're okay here. And if we check out Hells, he's going to be attempting to get himself a hill fort at some point here. With all of these, with these 2 Frost Giants, he's going to be in a decent position, though he does have Jason and Odysseus coming. Lermontov does to take out these Frost Giants here. And we'll see how this is going to go. These villagers do finish up on this. He doesn't really have much food that he can go to, so he's going to be returning back to his home base. We see the raiding cavalry getting sniped over here, and still no attempt at a hill fort. He's getting some more upgrades. I mean, interesting play here from Hells, but obviously the Huskarls in this situation, Huskarl throwing Axemen, very, very strong here. But that's not happening just yet. And now Lermontov going to be making a move into Hell's base here. As we see medium raiders moving around, they can try and get a surround on this location here. Got to be careful because he can't see much. If you check out this, he doesn't see the army. There's the army. He's going to have to be careful. He runs straight past it. That's going to be a distraction for Lermontov. And if we check out now, Lermontov over on this gold mine. He's got his walls up, but we can easily break those down, especially with the speed of the raiding cavalry. And we'll see what's going to happen here as Hell's now throwing down his hill fort. We've still only got 3,600 gold on that gold mine. Raiding cavalry do turn back as they get greeted yet again by the Greek army chasing him down. We will be seeing this food situation over here getting targeted down. So we may be able to get a villager pick off. And we'll see how that goes. Lermontov going to be retreating immediately away from this position. Raiding cavalry getting jabbed at. We'll be losing 1, not getting any villager kills there. Nice defense from Lermontov. And now the question is, Hells grabbing town centers is correct. If you can get 2 town centers, get 3 town centers, he'll be in a fairly decent position. And then it's just hold any Hera and then make a big push with those units with either Ragnarok or Tyr. Throwing away some more raiders. I guess Hells is okay with this in a way, because if he's distracting the entirety of Lermontov's army, even if he takes some damage in the HP and doesn't lose too many raiding cavalry, he's going to be completely fine with it because they're not attacking him, and he's going to be completely safe getting up his second town center and moving forward in the game. It is looking like Hells is gearing up to go to the Mythic Age right now. As you can see, he's banking a lot of resources, not going for the third town center either. He doesn't have his market up, but now it's coming up very, very quickly. These raiding cavalry are going to be attempting to break down this wooden wall. We'll be seeing that getting repaired by Lermontov, though it's not going to be fast enough. We see more villagers repairing this one to try and keep it alive, and the raiding cavalry will pick it off, but the army is here to prevent that one. We're at nearly 0 HP there as these villagers will repair it back up. Nice attempt there from Hells, but good defense by Lermontov. We see a random hoplite going to get picked off here. And tier is the god of choice for Hells. Very surprising tier here. As we see these town centers are up, and we see Dionysus, the god of choice here for Lermontov. So Dionysus, no underworld here though. I kind of do prefer the underworld in this situation so that you can jump around. Rag here would be an idea as well for Hells, but tier is probably just going to be just as good in this situation. Risking a Ragnarok against potential Capacitus, which already have medium line upgrades. As soon as the heavy line upgrades come in, it can be a little bit dicey. But we do see these raiders have snuck through. Lermontov not really aware of it. Oh no, he is aware of it. He's going to be retreating his villagers as the raiders come in. Hell's not really paying attention to his raiders. The villagers move back up, and they're greeted by an Arctic Wolf as the raiders come back in. And we'll get a couple of villager pickoffs here. So nice play. Meanwhile, the army coming through this way as well. Going to be getting a bunch of villager kills. We see the entirety, or not the entirety of the army, but a lot of units over here coming over here to take out some raiders. And this is a beautiful push right now by Hells with the incoming Fimbulwinter. Meanwhile, these villagers are getting pushed back as well. And unfortunately for... Oh, and we see the hoplites coming in on this location. You're going to be taking this down. Tier does pop. Fimbulwinter does come in. Town center will go down, but these hoplites going to be taking a fair amount of damage here. But now the villagers are going to be under attack yet again, as now Hells is trying to push in. There's no real units back here. He doesn't get a nice helpful wolf spawn over here. The wolf's in the middle of the map. Not going to be all too much help at all. But now Hells can think about going after this town center here if he wants to try and do that. We do see these villagers getting kind of surrounded by the wolves. We'll see the walls get deleted here as he's trying to get out, but he's not going to be able to. The wolves too strong on that location. So many villager deaths here for Lermontov. Even though he got the town center down, it's not going to be enough. The medium hoplite's still searching around for something to do here. And the villagers coming back onto this, coming out of the town center, back to the farms. We see a temple coming up. What is Lermontov sitting at economically here? He's got Hera on the way. So we will be able to get a brutal lightning storm off. But doesn't matter. Has the damage been dealt? And here's the third town center coming up. The army very split up for Hell. So the one thing you want to do when Hera comes your way is you want to start thinking about attacking multiple different places and causing a lot of chaos on the map, hoping that your opponent wastes his lightning storm on 2 separate locations. He does get the temple up, does get the Medusa out. One thing you can do with Greek, but specifically Zeus, when you're heading to the Mythic Age, is just chuck a boatload of villagers onto gold and a couple of villagers over onto favor to start making those myth units. Hera gives you the Medusa, very, very strong myth unit indeed, as that's moving forward. Can snipe off those frost giants and even snipe off some of the Jarls as well later into the game if he needs to. We do see him pushing forward now. Third town center is up for Hells, taking this nice and slow. But now we will probably be seeing a push onto the town center to take this one down. There's really not enough units here. Lightning Storm could come down and take these units down, but we do see the Medusa comes in, snipes one of those frost giants. The other one falls as well. Hoplites targeting down the town center here. The Medusa does a lot of damage as well to these units as the hoplites, or sorry, the throwing axemen retreating back into this location. We've got some raiders coming back over here. These raiders just sitting on this location here. There's the lightning storm. The throwing axemen going to be jumping inside of the town center. Lots of units over here still getting targeted down by said lightning storm, but it is looking like Lermontov will be able to take down this town center in the time being. And at least he will get some value out of that. Oh, but the rally point from the town center not set correctly, and going to be losing a couple of throwing axemen here as well as they are retreating away. But meanwhile, we've got these raiders still here. He can easily come in and try and take this off. But the issue is, how strong are the Medusas? Lermontov making Medusas? No, not making Medusas. We do see this one random raiding cavalry just causing a little bit of ruckus there. But the villagers going to be moving forward to grab this town center for Lermontov as Hells getting pushed back. He does have a ton of throwing axemen. Let's see, will Hells be making, he's making Jarl here. Surprising to see Jarl just make Huskal, force out the whatchamacallits. We see this town center getting snuck here, but force out the Hypaspis before you start going into Jarl. Town centers look like they will be getting traded here, but Hells is up to 141 population. If he just grabs all of his units, he probably should be able to win this fight, especially considering Lermontov is probably behind on the economy at this point. Hells just needs to get his units working. Lermontov currently has all of his units working here. We see another raid onto this location over here. The Heracles is here to help out, but these villagers that are getting pushed off of the gold mine will start losing their lives. Lots of low HP villagers here as well. The Heracles will pick off at least one of those raiding cavalry, but it's a very high value unit. We see the town center going up here. The throwing axeman going to be attempting to get a surround on these units here. I do not think that he wins this fight just yet, especially with half his units kind of distracted here, but he's going to be taking it for the time being. Just going to be pushing in here, but it is looking like this town center will get up. Medusa doing some work over here, getting big damage done onto those throwing axemen. And it's looking as if Lermontov will hold here for the time being. The villagers of Hells just moving straight down to the bottom corner. He can actually start thinking about converting some of those to Ulfsark here and building some side builds down on this location. The raiding cavalry still chasing these villagers around, but the town center is up for Lermontov now. We're moving into one of those parts of the game that is very, very interesting here. This is a super close and even sort of a mid-late game, possibly moving into the late game here. Both players taking a lot of damage on their economy, a lot of damage on their military. And if we actually look at this graph here, this will be the big interesting thing. It's very close in resources gathered here as well. So this game could go either way at this point. And normally in these situations, you'd think that Zeus has the better game plan because he just needs to kind of survive here and start making Myrmidon. But we'll see if Hells is going to take his foot off the gas or not. The villagers over here have finished up in the corner. Maybe worthwhile just putting them onto wood, taking some wood villagers off in your base and chucking them over to farms. Always not a bad idea, but it looks like he's still moving around the map looking for something to do. This hill fort will be planted on top of the town center though, so that's a really big power move here by HellsRavage as he's pushing in. And we'll see how he's going to go. He's just grabbing the caribou in the middle of the map through the line of the heavy hoplites. That is a sight to behold indeed. We're starting to see the town center going down very quickly. There is masons here. No fortified town center just yet for Lermontov. We'll see if it's going to matter. We do see the Medusa does manage to snipe the Fenris Wolf in the back here. No siege to speak of. Hells with some interesting ox cart placement over here, just as a random side note here. And now the Jarl will come forward. These Toxotes are not going to be all too useful against the throwing axemen as they are unupgraded versus these heavy throwing axemen. Is basically they're not countering the throwing axemen anymore, that's for sure. And the units still dropping here for Lermontov. If we check out his situation population-wise, he's 145 of 145 population, but not made a single Bellerophon here in this game. Instead, opted for some other stuff. Definitely wants to consider getting that. Lots of resources resources in the bank for Lermontov, whereas Hell's very low on the resources. We see the Medusa still doing absolute work here as this town center is getting dangerously low, but the village is getting brought into this location. Going to be starting to repair this one back up. Still no Bellerophon for Lermontov. He can sell wood and get that Bellerophon now. We've got fortified town centers coming in, but the villagers stop repairing the town center, and Hells manages to take that one down there. What a play. We've got the villagers attempting to repair it back up. It is feasible that Lermontov can hold on to this because he was 145 population when it did drop, but there's a portable ram here that's going to be starting to take down the settlement as Lermontov's population will start plummeting down to 130 of 130 population now. We'll see if we can keep fighting this one off. Let's check out the armory upgrades. Nearly full bronze for Lermontov. For Hells. Only bronze mail for Lermontov. So big advantage for Hells in terms of army technologies here, as he is managing to push through this location, taking down all of those Toxotes. The hoplite in the bag are falling, and Lermontov, 103 of 140 population, just not able to keep up with the spam of HellsRavage as he's managing to pick off these villages here and take this location. Lermontov does end up tapping out here in what was seemingly a completely balanced and equal game only 3 minutes ago. Turns on its head in a matter of minutes here, and Hells manages to take the town center down and take the game. Lermontov just too slow to get those economic upgrades. Too many villagers on wood for sure. Look at that, 3,000 wood in the bank. Needed to move tons of villagers over to gold. Needed to make Myrmidon here. Myrmidon are the answer. And definitely needed to get some armory upgrades. He was working on bronze mail, but very short, very late on that. No irrigation as well. So big issues in the Lermontov camp. Meanwhile, Hells, as this game finished, decent upgrades. Still no irrigation for him or what's it called? Winter Harvest, two of the biggest upgrades you can get. If you get Winter Harvest and Irrigation, or Winter Harvest and Flood Control, you're looking at very close to hunting dogs. Not hunting dogs, to non-hunting dogs hunt. I think it's either slightly better or at that. I'm not sure. Very good. Anyways, GG. Well played by Hells. It's really nice seeing this matchup fold out exactly like it does, and seeing how the situation does unfold when both players kind of execute well, that it does sort of end up equal in the end of the day. I feel like Hells went a little bit late into Huskal here. Obviously, I think maybe Lermontov was going heavy on the hoplites and not so much on the Toxotes, so he was kind of a little bit like, maybe I don't need to make those Huskal, but a little bit late. Not really making the Huskal. They're very important units. Just have a couple in your army to tank the Toxotes. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.